Clinton campaign and the DNC fined by the FEC for lying about the now debunked, I mean, it's been a long time debunked, Steele dossier. The FEC fined him a total of $113,000.
The Steele dossier, which is where this all came out of, was the basis upon which FISA warrants were sought and ultimately issued, even though the FBI knew at the time that the information contained in those reports were really suspect. Now, this is the first admission we have 2 years, more than 2 years now, after the investigation commenced by Bob Mueller.
The FEC said that Clinton and the DNC claimed the money given to their outside law firm for the campaign to hire Fusion GPS, I mean, they put that in there, was reported just to go towards legal advice and services, but not opposition research, which needed to be in a campaign disclosure, as that's directly related to political work by the campaign, which is different disclosure than just legal services. So, Dad, they were trying to bury this from not just the American people, but from the government regulators as well.
The information was not reliable. The FISA court admonished the government for abusing the system. An FBI attorney changed the wording in an email in order to obtain a FISA warrant on an American citizen. This is why this is, again, an outrage. And the fining is one thing, $110,000. But what's more important here is that it actually happened. And now we know again, which we knew, of course, when we were representing the president during the Mueller nonsense to begin with. But remember, Bob Mueller, Jordan, when asked about Fusion GPS, said, "I don't know who they are."
Notable here, neither the Clinton campaign nor the DNC objected. They didn't say, they said we're going to pay the fine, but they did not object to this characterization that they broke the law.
They got a slap on the wrist. They paid $110,000 in fines. But what's more important than the fines is the fact that it acknowledges what we already knew, and that this was put up by the Clinton campaign, and that there was no credibility in that dossier to begin with.
This is why Sussman, one of the attorneys at this firm, is in trouble, is because when he went to the FBI and DOJ with this information to get those investigations started, he didn't tell them about who was behind it, that it was Fusion GPS, that his firm had hired an outside firm to try and hide that from the FEC, that it was actually the Clinton campaign's Oppo research.
Sussman, lawyer, big lawyer for the Democrats, said he had no client. And in fact, there was a client. It was the Clinton campaign and the DNC, and it was a opposition research program that they denied, or the lawyer mischaracterized to the point where the Department of Justice has brought an indictment. There's not been a final adjudication of that yet. But all this goes to show you, they were so intent on taking Trump down from the beginning that they were going to this kind of level.
There is a double standard in Washington, D.C., I will tell you. Democrats, they get treated differently. They get treated differently by the courts. They get treated differently by the justice system. What's interesting to me, Dad, is they're the ones actually getting criminal charges against them, not Republicans.
Yeah,
it's Democrats.
It is
and they've been going after these Republicans for literally since the beginning of the Trump administration to today as we speak with the January 6th committee. And it's the Democrats and their attorneys, both inside the DOJ and FBI and outside to the Clinton campaign, who have actually gotten criminal charges filed against them.
We were very aggressive in our defense with a successful conclusion because we knew there was no Russia collusion with the Trump campaign. We knew that there were no obstruction of justice. The president was saying everything publicly. There was no hidden anything. There was more testimony given in that investigation than in any investigation, I think, in U.S. history. The number of witnesses that cooperated without executive privilege being asserted, it was very, very significant. And they had nothing.
I mean, the wheels of justice, they take a long time. Now, they were fast to try and go after Donald Trump. They were fast to go after him. But ultimately here, what you see is the FEC, the Federal Election Commission, which is a bipartisan commission of commissioners, saying that the Clinton campaign and the DNC violated election law, and they had to pay fines, a total of $113,000.
The process grinds very slowly, and part of that is because our Constitution sets up that you're presumed innocent, and that's important. So I would rather have the process take time, but have a presumption of innocence. It's better for the process. So I don't get overly concerned about who's been indicted this week or not next week. It's will people be ultimately held accountable? And the ultimate accountability, frankly, is in the election. That's when you have your ultimate accountability in all of these things.